I was correct on my prediction that it was going to rain today. I'm driving again, and it's raining a little bit, but not a whole lot. Trying to remember what it was I was going to say. Oh, I remember what it is now. So, when it comes to drawing, and I was thinking about this the other day, or when it comes to any form of art, I mentioned it before about just creating the type of art that you want. And I was also thinking about how there's a certain demand for a type of art that people want, that is more popular, that you can make money from, that can be seen through maybe advertisers or selling the art or getting promoted. And so you've got to try to find the balance to where you can just be yourself, create the type of art that you want to create, but also try to make some income from it if that's what you want to do. Now, if you just want to do it as a hobby and you just enjoy creating art, then that's not really going to be something that you're going to worry about. But depending on your situation, the one thing you want to make sure you focus on more is creating art for the pure joy of creating it and getting better at it. If you're doing it just for to see what people think of it or only for income, then you're going to lose the reason you're doing it. But making any type of income from art is really difficult. It's mostly the only top percentage of people that make anything from it. And even after all the many years that I've been drawing now, pretty much all of my life, I don't really make any income from it at all yet. And so even though a lot of people in my town or my area, my friends and family and people like my art and they enjoy my drawings, and people will see my drawings and they say, how much have you made from this? And I'm pretty sure people will buy prints of it. Well, I know you can make a living doing this. And even after all the drawings that I've made, I've tried to put my name out there to get known and done everything I can do so far to make any income from it. I still haven't. I've made very, very little. I have not made enough income from all the art I've made my entire life, the income I've made from it, to even pay 1 month rent. But you don't want to just do it, like if you enjoy drawing, but then it ends up becoming something that's just work that you don't even enjoy, it really takes the enjoyment out of doing it. And let's say if you're somebody that has a job that works for a big company and you design drawings for them, but you have to draw what they tell you to draw, and you can't draw whatever you want. I mean, maybe you could create something a certain way that they give you a template of the general idea of what they want you to draw or create, and then you, under those guidelines, you create something. But if you were able to do something similar, but you can create whatever you want, I think you will find more joy in that, and you will have more freedom to create whatever type of art that you want, unrestricted to just let yourself be as creative as you want to be. But at the same time, if you want to get better at drawing and you're only drawing one thing, it could work either way. If you're drawing something for a company or some place that you're working for, and you're only drawing the same things over and over and over repetitively, it's not changing a whole lot, then your skill isn't going to improve that much. I mean, but if you are drawing for a company or business or making income from that as a living, you're probably pretty good at drawing anyways. Now, if you're not making any income from it yet and you're drawing the same thing over and over, you might want to switch things up. Try to draw something a little bit different, Or expand and do different mediums. Maybe instead of just doing ink, maybe try drawing with pencil or painting. Maybe do sculpting, or maybe architectural design could be something that you're interested in. But try to draw some different things, and that should help you, especially if you're in an artist block to where you don't know what to draw, and you sit down to draw, you go to make a line, and you have no idea what to create. You just sit there and you think, I have no idea what to draw. I don't know what to make. Just make a line on that paper. Make a scribble. It doesn't matter what it is. Just start. I guess it could work if you're doing portrait drawing, or maybe drawing stuff for a comic book or things that are more realistic. But I think it would work even better if you're doing doodles or abstract type of stuff. It's a lot easier because you don't have to try to make things as precise and perfect, whereas if you're doing something that is a finished piece, you have to do more planning. So what you could do is maybe make some random line, whatever, you just throw something on the paper, and then once you've got that done, you've got the idea, drawn out, and then you can redraw it and make it more precise. I've done that for a lot of my portrait drawings. When I want them to look more precise, I'll kind of just scribble something on the paper, get a general idea, and then I'll redraw that more precisely. So the quick sketch of it is only going to take about, depending on what you're drawing, it could be 5 minutes, it could be maybe 30 minutes or an hour, depending on how detailed that you want it to be. I used to do way more drawing in graphite, but I've transitioned more into doing drawings with pen and ink, such as fountain pens or technical pens. I wonder if you can hear the rain that's outside. I'm pretty sure you probably can once I upload this to my computer and listen to the audio. I can probably hear the rain. It might sound like ASMR, or maybe you don't like the sounds of my car in the background or the rain. But that's just how it is at the moment. Because I've got all this extra time and just sitting in my car, and I figure, why not? What else was I going to mention? Let me think here. Let me think of something random. Something completely random. Okay, several random things. To my right, I see a bunch of cows, and there's a bunch of farms over there. And when I was younger and lived in a different state, there was way more cows all over the place. I kind of lived out in the middle of nowhere. There's not as many around here, it seems like. But where I used to live, there was cows all over. It was always this country all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of country area here, and it's farmland, but it's mostly just corn. And so the land is mostly used for corn rather than livestock. That's one random thing. What's another one? Oh, the weather. Speaking of the weather. Well, boring topic, but I'll try to make it interesting. So the weather here, when I first moved up here, everybody was worried about. But when I first moved up here, I went for a jog one time. It was raining a little bit. There was a little bit of wind. It wasn't too bad. And everybody asked me, "You crazy out running this weather? It's so windy." But I was used to lots of lightning and much more rain, hurricanes and all that. But the same could be said for when it comes to snow, because I did not like the snow once it started snowing. Everybody else was excited for it, even though they lived there, in the state their whole life. It was snowing one day in study hall. Everybody was excited, but I wasn't. I was looking forward to summer already. But my plans for the rest of the day is doing more drawings when I get back, some doodle tutorials, upload some of my random talks and edit those. And then, well, that's after I eat and everything, because I'm really hungry right now. Maybe make something good this time rather than a boring meal. I don't remember if I mentioned it before on a video recently, but I went for, I think I did, it was like a 4-hour walk last week. And I just thought about random things, and I still have to upload that yet. I don't know if that will be uploaded by the time that this is out, or that this is going to be out before I get that video out there. But either way, I went for a 4-hour walk, and I was thinking about doing that today later on, but it's been raining, and so I'll probably just stay inside and do a bunch of drawing for the day. And then that's pretty much my day. That's it. I haven't been to the gym in a while. I plan on going, but I've just been so busy with work and everything else. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And I haven't been eating as much because I've been so busy with everything else. So this road I'm driving on, they finally got most of the construction done. It took them about a month. And they had these huge spots to where the road was a good 8 to 10 inch difference between one part of the road to the next part of the road where they were doing the construction. And some of the locations didn't have a sign up that said bump, so I'd be driving and I had to slam my brakes on them. I think this is another bump. They don't have the sign up here anymore. We're gonna find out. No, they got it done. Finally got that part done. But there is another one the other direction that I drive, that there's a huge bump there, but they don't have a sign up that says there's a bump, and I keep having to slam my brakes on, but now I remember the location of it. Now I'm coming around this turn that is a sharp turn. It goes from 55. I mean, this whole road is 55 miles an hour most of the way back home, but there's a couple of turns that are very sharp. It says, you know, the sign, it says 45, but if you go 45 around these corners, you will fly off the road, even in if the road is dry. Right now the road is wet, and the sign says 45 advised, you know, like the little, like when you're driving it says 55 and I have a different sign up at a corner when you're turning. Well, it says 45, but I slow down to about 20. Maybe they should change that. I don't know what crops this is over here. I think this might be corn again. I don't know. I don't grow any crops myself, so I wouldn't know. As I said, I'm used to just seeing corn everywhere. I can spot a corn stalk 10 miles away, probably. Well, if I could see it. Maybe if I had my camcorder to zoom in. I think it has 1200 times zoom on my camcorder. Everything's all grainy though when I do that. It's not raining as much now, at least. I'm hoping that later today it clears up some so I can go for maybe an hour walk, but I won't do that until after I get home and everything and eat and all that stuff. Well, I'm still trying to get used to sitting here talking to myself. Well, I'm talking to all of you, but I'm talking to myself technically. You can probably hear my car. Maybe you can hear it's starting to rain a little bit now, just a little bit. Speaking of rain and weather, about, I think it was 2 months ago, I was on my way back from a friend's house. It was about an hour and a half drive. as I was driving, I noticed something different about my windshield wipers. Both of my windshield wipers, the rubber parts on them was broken. So as they were moving back and forth, they were not removing any of the raindrops or any of the water or nothing. It was just, I had no view. So I actually had to stick my head out of my car a little bit and drive with my head out the window most of the way back. And when I was almost home, it cleared up like the last 5 minutes of the drive. But that was not too fun. And then the other day I had this issue where my car, I don't know what was going on with the brakes, but I was driving and everything was fine that morning. And I always check under my car. There was no leaks of anything, no oil leak, no fluid leak, no gas leak, nothing. Everything was fine. So I drive to another place. I then come out later on, a couple hours later. I get in my car. I start my car, and it says no brake fluid. So I was like, huh. So I popped my hood. I looked, and the reservoir for the brake fluid was completely full. Like, well, I wouldn't say completely full. It was about maybe 80% full. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a leak or something. So I looked underneath my car. I did not see any leaks of any kind. There was not a drop of anything. It was completely dry under my car. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I looked up a close parts place for cars near me, and it was like a mile and a half away. So then I put my car into reverse, and the brake was just not working at all. So I put it back in park. I stopped. I pumped the brake a little bit. I checked the brake fluid reservoir again. It was still 80% full. Pumped the brake a little bit more. Still wasn't working. Checked it again. Still 80% full. I called a couple people. No one answered their phone. That's how it always works. Whenever you actually need to call somebody, that's when nobody answers their phone. But it's when you're busy that someone tries to call you. And yet when I call someone when I actually need something important, they just didn't have their phone on them. That's just how it always works. But so I tried to call a couple people. No one answered their phone. So I was like, well, looks like I'm going to have to figure out how to get back home. So the brakes did not work very well at all. So I went to this parts place, got some brake fluid, pumped my brakes a little bit. I filled it 100% full. Brakes did not work all the way home. It was about half an hour drive. Didn't work the whole way back. And so then I parked. Then about an hour later, went out to my car. Brakes still weren't working. I pumped the brakes, drove around a parking lot a little bit. I drove around for about 5 minutes. Came back, checked it. Still wasn't working. But before this, I checked under my car and there was no leak. So then I pumped my brakes more, and then still didn't work. So I'll wait 15 minutes. I think about it. I'm trying to figure it out of what it could possibly be. Because I already checked my hood. It's completely full. It's like, huh. So then I opened my hood again. I checked the reservoir. And then it's about halfway empty. But there was no leak under my car. I could not figure this out. Complete mystery to me. And then I had to get some power steering fluid. So I was good on oil. I just did an oil change not too long ago. Power steering fluid was good then. I filled that. Brake fluid was good. Transmission fluid was good. Engine coolant was good. Windshield wiper fluid was good. I was good on all the fluids. So I should be okay now. But I couldn't figure that out at all. It didn't make any sense to me. I don't know much about cars, but I know how to put the fluids in them. Basic stuff. You know, that gas, oil change, brake fluid, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, engine coolant, windshield wiper fluid, change a tire, put gas in it. basic stuff. And yeah, I don't know what was causing that or why that even happened. But at least I got it figured out, and everything's working now. My car before, it was okay in power steering fluid about a week ago, and then all of a sudden it was mostly empty, but there's no leaks. I can't figure that out. Because my car yesterday started feeling like I was driving a car from 1930, back before they had power steering. And I had to turn the wheel pretty hard to get it to turn. But now that's all fixed, it's all working good, and it should be good now. It's one less thing I have to worry about for now. One thing I'm thinking about is what I'm going to eat, because I'm hungry. I haven't ate anything since yesterday. I think I had a banana this morning, and I drank some coffee, and that was it. I don't know what I'm going to make. Don't know. I might go to bed early today because I got up at 4 a.m. instead of my usual 6 a.m. But I could, well, I don't know. I could probably get more done today then, though. I have a little bit extra time. I don't know, though. But we'll see. We shall see. I wonder if you can hear my turning signal, or my windshield wiper blades, or the rain, but I'm pretty sure you can hear my car. You know, when I get home, one thing I could do is try to clean the 0.25 rotating isograph pen. That one has not worked for a long time. It was actually my second pen I got. I replaced the nib in the first one, then it still wasn't working. I got a second one, and then that one wasn't working, but it wasn't because of ink being clogged. So I was like, well, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a bent nib. But the nib wasn't bent because I checked, it was perfectly straight, and everything was cleaned. And then I got a second nib for it, and it quit working like 2 or 3 days later. I don't know what's going on with the rotating isographs that are smaller than 0.35. I don't seem to have that issue with the Staedtler isographs. Those I seem to have better luck with. Thinking about maybe getting a Staedtler 0.35 technical pen. And then we'll see if those ones are working better or not. I think they should. I feel like the flow of the ink with the Staedtlers is better. Seems like the Rotrings tend to get this issue to where they clog up a little bit, and I clean them a bunch, and I'm still having issues. I don't know if it's something that I'm doing wrong, but I do the same thing with my Staedtlers, and I've had those, well, I have one of them, the 0.35, and I haven't had any issues with it. Maybe it's because it's a 0.35, I don't know. Because I don't have any that are larger than 0.35. I have a 0.25 and a 0.18. I'll get that all figured out when I get home. Anyways, I'm done talking about completely random things for now. So, you have a great day, and until next time, have fun drawing, and I've arrived at my destination. So you have fun drawing. I will talk to you next time in my completely random talks about whatever's on my mind. I'll see you later.